Question number 6 in the name of the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr Speaker, this question is to the Minister of the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery and asks, what is the total number and value of contracts held by Mainzeal Property and Construction in respect of the Canterbury Earthquake rebuild?
Honourable Jerry Brown.
Mr Speaker, there are two parts to that question. The first is that CERA itself has 2 contracts with Mainzeal Property and Construction Limited, now in receivership. The first is for the demolition of the Clarendon Towers for a contract price of $8.9 million. This is nearly completed with 3 weeks remaining, the job almost done. The second is for the QE2 complex. The value is $2.1 million. These works are also almost completed, with approximately, we think, 6 weeks left to go. Mr Speaker, there are a number of other contracts that Mainzeal have in Canterbury that are with the private sector, and I don't have details for exactly what the position is on those at this stage.
Supplementary question?
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Yes, point of order, Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr Speaker, you will have gleaned by now that that is a totally inadequate answer for someone who's had 4 hours to prepare on a very, very serious matter. With 2 contracts and about $11 million is not what is being asked in the primary question. It'll be very obvious to anyone associated with Canterbury what the depth of Mainzeal's association was. And to get up and say after 4 hours that he hasn't got the information is certainly, sir, I think, well, is trifling with Parliament and trifling with question time.
I thank the member. Speaking to the point of order.
Mr Speaker, I'm a minister responsible for the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery and the department. And so there is the obvious answers to the contractual arrangements that the department has. I cannot at this point give a firm answer on the other contracts. I believe there are 5 of them that Mainzeal have in Christchurch.
I don't need any further assistance. In my opinion, the Minister answered the question as according to the rules. He listed the 2 that he knew about, the result of a contract between CERA and Mainzeal Construction. He noted that there could be a number of other contracts in existence that were within the private sector. I think the Minister has answered quite satisfactorily, and the member has alternative supplementaries.
Okay, supplementary question. Did he or CERA officials view the Mainzeal company's balance sheet before awarding Mainzeal millions of dollars in contracts? If not, why not?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr Speaker, we had every reason to believe that Mainzeal was a stable company and entered into the contracts on the basis that they had capacity to do the job, which is far more important to us than anything else.
Point of order, Right Honourable Winston.
Mr Speaker, my question is very specific. Did he or CERA officials view the Mainzeal company's balance sheet? That's what he's being asked. The answer's got to be yes or no.
Well, I think he...
Point of order, Mr Speaker. I can give a further answer if he wants to. No, because that would be a minister interfering in operational matters, and the member would have a dim view of that, I'm quite sure. As to whether or not the balance sheet was checked out by CERA officials, I have not been informed of that.
Supplementary question. Right Honourable Winston.
How could he and his officials not be aware of Mainzeal's financial position, given that one of the members of the CERA review panel also happened to be a director of the company in question?
Mr Speaker,
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
The 2 matters are quite separate. The CERA review panel is a statutorily constituted body that has the Honourable Sir John Hanson as its chairperson, and he conducts scrutiny of Auditors in Council after they've been considered by all parties in this House. To somehow construe that from that we should be discussing a private matter or a private engagement with, on a daily basis with one of the other members of that panel is utterly ridiculous.
Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston.
Can he confirm that Dame Jenny Shipley, a member of the CERA review panel, which he appointed, was also director of Mainzeal Property and Construction until December last year, when she was asked to resign by Richard Tan?
Mr
Honourable
Speaker,
Jerry Brownlee.
I have no idea what the circumstances were around the resignation, but I can confirm that she is a member of the review panel. They review orders in council after those orders in council have been considered by all parties in this House.
Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston.
So why did he appoint Dame Jenny Shipley to the CERA review panel, a body which is supposed to be independent, despite Ms Shipley having a clear conflict of interest with respect to her directorship of Mainzeal Property and Construction?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Well, Mr Speaker, I think the member needs to look at the orders in council that have been somewhat, I think, judiciously used in order to move the recovery forward. Ask his own spokesman why he supported some of them. But more than that, explain to the House why he thinks someone who is reviewing changes to law is somehow conflicted because they're a director of a construction company.
Point of order, Right Honourable Winston.
Speaker, my question is very direct. I'm asking why, when it was clear that there was a conflict of interest, did he appoint someone to CERA?
Order. The member will resume his seat. You are now using the point of order to debate the answer that was given. The Minister answered the question quite satisfactorily. It may not be to the satisfaction of the member, but if he wants to use further supplementaries, he can. But at this stage, that answer was quite satisfactory.
Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, we do not have any other supplementaries. That's the first thing. And twice today, and this is the second time, the Minister has referred to matters which got no connection with the question, including New Zealand First's Canterbury spokesman. That's nothing to do with the answer at all. I want to know why appoint some of the conflict of interest.
I have ruled that the question has been answered absolutely satisfactorily. If the member has no supplementary question left today, I can't do anything about that. The member will have to look for another question time. Question number 7, Catherine Delahunty.
Tēnā koe, Mr.